Hello and welcome to the C-Suite of the Open video series. My name is Omar Kathagi and I am a Corporate Access Manager here at TMX Group. And joining me today is Stewart. He is the CEO of QC Copper and Gold. Thank you for joining me, Stephen.
My pleasure, Omar. Thank you for having me as always.
So Stephen, start us off and tell us about QC Copper and Gold and tell us more about the recent name change and ticker change.
Sure. Well, QC Copper and Gold is as you said, brand new, branded. We renamed the company to reflect, three things. First is QC. Of course, QC stands for Quebec. Our project's located in the heart of Quebec. The project's called the Opimiska. It's a former producing high-grade mine operated by Falconbridge that produced well over 1 billion pounds of copper and 1 million ounces of gold. And of course, that leads us to the second reason why we called it QC Copper and Gold is the copper and the gold aspect. So this new name reflects the three elements to our company, which is Quebec, copper, and gold.
Perfect. And Stephen, if you can summarize your investment value proposition into 3 different points, can you maybe share those 3 points with me?
Sure. Well, I think the most important thing for our company, in fact, almost any company, certainly exploration company, is people, project, and capital. I'll start with the project. As I said, it's the Opimiska project. We acquired it 2 years ago, and when we acquired it, we had a thesis about how it used to be a high-grade underground vein system. We looked at the data. We saw that the wall rock was disseminated, so there was rock outside of these veins that was ignored by Falconbridge. We saw it in that historical data. We drilled it last year with that in order to prove that thesis, and the thesis was proven correct. In fact, it exceeded our expectations with intersections over 1% copper over 160 meters from surface, 2.5% copper over 75 meters. That shows wide, broadly disseminated zones. So that's one of the most important thing is that project is the Opimiska. And of course there's people, and the team is led by myself. I'm the CEO, but I want to highlight our VP of Exploration, Charles Beaudry, who is the one that had this thesis about the project and proved it and drilled it out. And he's the one responsible for all technical aspects of this company. He's had 35 years experience all over the world, but largely focused in the Abitibi. Started with Noranda, Strata, etc., and has been working on this project with the people who we acquired it from for almost 20 years. So that's the second aspect is people, and then the last is capital. Firstly, our ability to raise capital to prove our thesis and develop these projects is the third most important element of any business. And our broader group here, which includes many companies in the exploration business, has been very successful over the years in raising capital. In fact, we've raised $20 million in 2020 calendar year. And I'll also note, if you look at our balance sheet on QC Copper and Gold, we've got about $1.8 million in cash, but we also have about 50% ownership of another company called Baseload, which is of course listed on the Venture Exchange as well. And that's worth about $8 or $9 million. So when you add up our cash plus our position in this company called Baseload, it's actually more than our market cap in its entirety. So that speaks to capital, speaks to value. So I think QC Copper has people, projects, and capital.
So Stephen, excellent points there on the investment highlights, but now I want to shift focus onto challenges. What are some of the challenges that you're facing with QC Copper and Gold, and how are you addressing those challenges?
Well, outside of the obvious challenge that we're all facing right now globally is COVID, but I won't get into that because that's a manageable challenge. The real challenge for a company like QC Copper is two things. One is awareness. As you mentioned, and we're talking about, we've just rebranded, and so nobody knows what QC Copper and Gold is and what it stands for. So we're out there spreading the message and telling our story. We think there's a huge differentiation between value and price. Of course, price is what our market cap is and value is what the opportunity is. We see tremendous value, but we need to get more eyes on our story, and we will do that. I'll be telling the story quite aggressively between now and in the coming months. And I think the other thing is the other challenge we face, again, it's outside of our control, but it's a real challenge, is timing. And timing is so important in the exploration business, particularly when you're dealing with commodities and their price. So the price of copper is completely outside of our control. It has languished these last few years because of the trade war and now because of COVID. But since COVID, the hysteria and COVID has calmed down. Copper metal has performed tremendously. It's gone from $2 to $3, in fact, almost $3.15. And so that reflects our timing. And when the interest comes back into the copper space, it's companies like QC Copper and Gold that are going to be going to appreciate significantly. So we like to say, just like when gold metal price increased, the juniors took about 6 to 9 months to reflect any value appreciation. The same setup is coming for copper and, of course, our company QC Copper and Gold.
Great. And finally, Stephen, how did your listing on TSX Venture contribute to your success so far?
Well, of course, the Toronto Stock Exchange is the preeminent exchange for the mining industry. We're very pleased to be on there. We've listed on this exchange many times. I think, to me, it represents two things. One is credibility, because it is the top exchange for the mining industry, and the second is access to capital. Our exchange is recognized worldwide, and certainly our story is being told worldwide. So we have people from Australia, people from Europe, people from all over the world interested in copper, and being on the exchange gives us that stamp of approval.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Stephen, for your time today and for all of your insights and sharing with us the QC story. And I hope that you stay safe and stay well.
Thanks, Omar. Nice to talk to you.